have what it takes to stunt them. Now, in what we've seen previously, and I brought it up in map number 1 with Roy, I think you get a bit more of that here in this. You brought it up in the first matchup between Ghost Gaming and S-Bread that they didn't have anything to stop them. They didn't have anything for forward information. Renegades are going to have that.
Yeah, so they do play into the Sky on this map, which I think Sky's really good here. But Breach also very much so. From what we saw from Dazzle in that first game, he was kind of bullying, to be honest. Like, it was a little disrespectful, some of the stuff he was getting done with those flashpoints, especially with the combo with Nismo. I thought those two were kind of the dynamic duo that is, along with Ryan, had some of the biggest impact in that matchup. I thought the coordination was on point, but we know that the same is true of the Renegades. Roy plays Sky everywhere, so the team obviously knows how to play around it, but I think it's harder to get the flash and dash done in the same kind of flawless way you can with a Breach. It takes a little bit more, effort, but I also like double duelist here for the Renegades. They don't play double duelist on all their maps these days, but I think when they do pull it out, it's exciting because you get to see Winsome on his Raze. It's basically all he plays, and you get to see Retro having an opportunity to op when he wants to. It gives Retro so much freedom when he plays that Jet.
And this is, we're seeing the Viper come in, and it is an agent that we do see played from Renegades, but a little bit of theory crafting came into this one, because there have been times where Randy Savage has played the Killjoy. There's been times where somebody else has played the Viper alongside the Killjoy. So this is interesting to see that they hover that for quite some time. They opt into sticking with it. And if you need to slow somebody down, I know Unders has a video out there kind of breaking down a lot of the compositions before Masters 2. And one of them was that Astra Viper that does just so darn good at slowing a team down. So Renegades, they've got all the tools they need to beat Ghost Gaming, but they have to put it, they have to put pen to paper here on this one, as Ghost are going to be mounting their attack to kick things off. And we'll see if Ryan, if Chase, if Koala Noob, if Dazzle and Nismo can be enough to punch their ticket into the grand finals. That's where they need to be to secure points in the top 32. Of course, they have some time. This would be a great place to get it done and get it started. Jerk not going to be spotted out just yet. Finally, does get spotted out, but finds a kill, and they're just completely disregarding. Jerk comes up huge, and Renegades make it hurt. They pick up where they left off, and they grab the pistol.
That pistol so quick. Jerk needed to be checked on, but he was able to just stay alive for a moment, isolate some duels with the Frenzy, and come out on top. That feels like what we were talking about, where Renegades is coming off of a confident win. They're feeling good. He felt fine to just take his moment, tap away, take things nice and slow, whereas Ghost, they were making some mistakes there. They were funneling in one at a time. They were allowing these duels to be given over, and those mistakes just cannot be happening when it's do or die.
And in a situation like that, that becomes so chaotic because, okay, Jerk finds one, and you're like, okay, that should be traded. Then he finds a second, and the three remaining are like, okay, we have to take care of this Astra. So everybody spins away, and it allows the rest of the Renegade squad to just bring up the rear and get it done. Now up close and personal is Nismo, but answered back quickly. 3 quick kills, 2 for Winsome, 1 for Jerk. And they're closed out once more. Only 1 kill coming on through. Ghost tried their hand at beating the anti-eco, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah, Ghost has just gone very fast into the B site both these rounds. I don't hate it because the Renegades don't really have a real Sentinel. They only have Randy Savage playing into that role, and he leans towards 8 generally. So the quick pop, not bad in any right, but they've just been getting shut down by Jerk in the backlines. They've not been able to isolate that duel. The rotate is always quick from Roy, and when Roy's on the scene, that means his birds are too. So it gets very tough to deal with. And I mean, this bonus could still be dangerous as well, because they've kept on to at least 4 weapons, 1 player down onto the pistol, but they're pushing up here. They're getting aggressive. They're not giving Ghost space to play with.
Yeah, they're making sure that any space gained nice and early gets taken back right away. We just saw Winsome pushing up so aggressive towards the same main area. Tosses out all of the Raze utilities, so that stings a little bit, but it bought some time off the clock. It shaved away a few of those seconds. And Ghost haven't really made a step anywhere else. Mid control is where we saw them earlier in the day. This time, a bit less in the mid control department. They are still hanging out that way, but they're not fighting for it, right? They're playing so slow, and we're under a minute now, and they haven't really made a move.
Really have no space to work with right now. Opportunity here for Diesel, but he's the one to take damage. Ryan does bail him out, keep him safe, but it's only advantage by 1. And with 40 seconds left, look at this. They still have no map control. There's a smoke towards A main that's kept them at bay. Dazzle's here with the flashes. This is the right call because it is the lone Viper on the site, but still, with the time so low, if the Viper can get a frag here, if that spike goes onto the floor, this is very much a losable situation.
I believe Randy Savage still has the toxic screen. Unfortunately, dying means you don't have it. So a couple of kills going to swing the way of Ghost, and the rifle round looking to go their way. Winsome just a bit wide on the shots. Not going to find the target with 6 seconds. Pulled in with the spike. Still goes down. That could have been dire. That could have been what Renegades needed, but it falls just a bit short. Now 5 remaining from Ghost, looking to secure their first round. And that's all it took here, Mimi. It looks like put some rifles in their hands and they're able to get it done. The run and gun from Roy. And there it is. The first round to Ghost, but it was only the bonus from Renegades.
Yeah, it was just the bonus. Good on the Renegades to get a little bit of damage in, but I was honestly a little worried with what I was seeing from Ghost because they were taking that so incredibly slowly. Look at the minimap right here in the replay. Look at how much space is given over. The only pressure they have is towards mid. They have no other information. They don't have a Sky. They don't have a Cypher. They don't have anyone to fall back on that for free, so they have to be pushing. They have to be fighting for that control, and if they lose confidence and stop doing that, that's when they can start to lose. And I fear that that was kind of a factor on Haven too. They slowed down, they stopped having info, but this isn't them slowing down. This is them going so fast, but it's straight into a death trap.
Straight into the hands, the waiting arms of Retro with the operator there. And we didn't get any of that, I don't believe. Maybe 1 round of the operator on Haven. We should be getting a whole lot of it here on the split. And nets the first kill. It's the same style that we saw in the previous rounds for Ghost, where that spike is still hovering towards mid. Got a couple of players. This time, they're not looking for heaven control. They're just looking for control through the site, and they've been able to obtain that. Now finding a trade kill makes it a 4v4, and that spike slowly bringing up the rear. And a big flank could come through here from Chases. He's still hanging out towards mid.
Roy with that bird, trying to garner some information. He'll get exactly that, but the smoke does fall. Could have been risky now around that nebula, but it's into this retake. RNG, they're taking this dry. Roy walking up. He isolates Dazzle, and Retro still in heaven. He's denying the peek for the refrag, but Chase is here to hound him down. Slow orb up, barrier orb as well to work with, but Roy has his birds. He's in quick towards the site, but Koala's here, playing around this box perfectly, keeping Winsome occupied. And no, Winsome does win it out eventually. Spike not planted for heaven, and that's where the last player is. Has to dive in, attempt to make a play, but Renegades, they shut down out of the retake and find themselves a third.
And you see a little bit of the downfall of that cosmic divide, right? Sometimes that ult is just not your friend, and that is exactly the case here for Ghost Gaming. It put him kind of in an awkward spot, and not that that lost the round, but it's really hard to find value in that ultimate outside of maybe looking for a bait, or once you've already secured the site, then tossing it out. You can't really hear anything. The 2 defenders are on the opposite side, as you see here in the replay, so you have to run into them to make sure not only are they not defusing, but to stop them from defusing that spike. So just an awkward spot to be in as a whole. It does lead to Renegades finding their next round, and this one a little worse for wear is Ghost Gaming in terms of that arsenal, as they're back on an eco buy, and it's looking like a 4-1 game after this one for Renegades, but we know that we can't count this team out because Nismo's got a weapon in hand. Maybe not the rest of the team. We'll see what they can continue to get done. An early kill out towards mid.
Good pickup to be found. Ghost now can make this rotation, and Retro's re-clearing space towards mid. This should raise the alarm bells that A is an opportunity because they still have one player a bit pushed up towards the B site, and they're putting a bird there as well. That bird shouldn't reveal anything. Now they have to know that this is likely A. You see the rotate coming through. Retro will be here. He has the operator. Roy will be on the scene as well, but with 50 seconds left, this doesn't necessarily have to be the final commitment. They still have something to work with here. Ghost doesn't have to make the move. It's the pressure on the Renegades.
But you see Jerk is all the way through B main. So they have the information. Now, obviously, they have a whole lot more, but that's why they're able to keep 3 right here on the site as the Seekers go through. Any Savage can make sure nobody pushes through the site. They could rotate through ropes, and that's exactly what they're looking to do. Jerk could come up huge here. Catching them, we'll see the trigger discipline. Finds a first, finds a second. Is going to be traded out eventually. But you said it, running out of time. The clock is not your friend if you're the attacking team, unless that spike is planted. So with 10 seconds, a wall. And Roy on the site, looking to buy some space, looking to buy some time, but on the opposite side is the plant. Randy Savage goes, shoots the spike, goes down, and Chase looking to clutch things out. They're able to get it done inside the chaos. He's looking for another, and Chase gets it done, goes back on the board.
Chase goes huge there. His wall keeps the planter safe, allows that to come down initially, and also allows him to play around it, isolate both of those duels. Renegades, they just peak 1 second out of sync, lose the round as a result. And I mean, the only reason they managed to get that close was off of Jerk. Huge play here in mid. He gets a double, he gets his, but unfortunately, we've said it so many times today, chaos is where Ghost Gaming strives. Chaos is where Ghost wins, and that's exactly what happened there.
Especially when they're kind of controlling that chaos, right? The clock is they've got an idea of where that clock is at, right? They're playing in under 10 seconds. They're tossing out the utility. They're making now the defenders understand at that point, hey, we just have to stop the spike plant. But they couldn't do that because of the wall. So it's that controlled chaos in favor of Ghost that they really come out on top of. Now they have to be wary because Retro has the blades online. Retro is a problem. The rest of the squad, though, I believe just sitting on pistols here. So 2 pushed out towards B main. Chase spots out 1. I'm not too sure if Winsome had been spotted out just yet. There's the flashpoint. Shots onto Jerk to fall, and 3 quick kills swing the way of Ghost Gaming. It should be another round. Blade still online. That would be a very tall task for Retro here to stop the entire squad from getting onto this B site.
We've seen him in the 4K before they actually line up, but still only one around the Viper utility. He'll swing forward, needs a shot, but can't get it. He's shut down. Dazzle has the frag. Looked like there could have been a chance for a moment, but it is denied. It was just the eco, but good on Ghost to keep it nice and clean. They only lose 1 to that Blade Storm. Gonna keep these weapons into the next, and look at the ults they have as well. Rolling Thunder, they also have that lockdown. This is practically a free execution if they deem it necessary, but I don't think they even need to commit into an execute here, because what's been good for them is their mid-rounding. It's been that way on both of these split games, where when they play slow on the attacker side, they win. They strive when the time is against them, and I'd like to see them just keep that up. You can keep doing that until the Renegades are able to counter you out, and once you get to counter, that's when you pull out the creativity. That's when you can start to use these ults, start to speed things up. But right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, Jerk's in a very tricky spot there. Boosted on top of the crates. He's not tested just yet, as it's slow mid pressure from Ghost.
And that's not a spot that everybody checks, especially when you see where that Raze is playing, right? You're not expecting that Astra to be up there. Doesn't get any value just yet. It is going to be mid-control once more. Still slow for Ghost Gaming as they're kind of biding their time before, they get in that 3-point stance and then eventually take off across the line of scrimmage, which seems to be the B site multiple times here in this game. Like you said, those ultimates, they're very tricky. The last time we saw that Rolling Thunder use, it looks like it's queued up towards heaven. It is going to be just that as Randy Savage tries to get away. Nismo trying to hop on through, but stunted for a second. Jerk didn't spot 1. No, Ryan. Ryan gets onto the site. The aftershock comes on through, and Jerk gets punished for the position. Roy tries to toss out a guiding light, but caught with his pants down, and Ghost making it hurt. The barrier orb to go through a 4v2 situation, and the only ult to try and turn the tides was that showstopper right there. Winsome will fall, and Retro will retreat with an op in hand.
I'm so confused. Did Jerk like fall asleep for a second? I think he was just tunnel vision on main, didn't see the player coming out from heaven, and eventually when he notices the player down towards hell, he gets distracted from Ryan and main, dies there. It allows the entry, and when that's also in combination with the Rolling Thunder up towards heaven, it was a round that was very, very hard for the Renegades to come back into. I like that Retro is just committing to the save here, but Tanner, I mean, the spike only just got planted maybe 20 seconds ago, so they have plenty of time to hunt him down, and this is the right call. get the op out of Retro's hands. They know how dangerous he can be with it. And the first opportunity presents itself. Nismo dies, but it's information over.
Wow.
Re-peeking for Retro. He gets a second. Tailwind up, 2 seconds left. He should be able to live here, and he will. Good on him to get a little bit of eco damage there onto Ghost.
It's taken away a couple of those weapons, but again, in a very close game, Ghost still sitting nice and pretty in terms of economy. And it makes me wonder, as we see those judges come on through, it kind of answers my question. What do they do? Do they leave Retro with the hero op and hope that he's playing in the right position to get the round win? Or do you force up around it? And it does look like a very light buy. Shotguns across the board. Jerk going to show us what the Bucky can get done after recent nerfs. In the Viper's Pit, this should stunt a whole lot. This is the Ghost game plan. Play through mid, and now you have a huge green wall in front of you. No way!
What? Wait. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Randy. Nade does him in while he's trying to make an aggressive play. He wasn't even... No, I thought he was in the smoke for a second. He just sits there and takes it. All right. Cool.
Wow, that is as unfortunate as it gets. A beautifully placed paint shell, a beautifully placed gravity well. Able to net Nismo another kill on the round. The most impactful being that Viper with the Viper's Pit. Now taken off the board. The judges around the rest of this squad haven't been able to get anything. And what stings the most is Renegades, they had to play the close corner, so they had to be in unadvantageous spots. As Winsome picks up one, but not enough for another. Just some chip damage onto Dazzle, who is now low on HP, but it's an op. It's a Bucky. The 4v2. Nismo maybe getting caught out. There's the nerfs coming to play. A 3K for the Rays as Ghosts look to grab a 2-round lead. Wow, what an unfortunate round. We talked about soul crushing for a Ghost in the previous game, but how about that round there for Renegades?
It was just a save, but they were committing a good bit into that. The judge play, it was the right setup, but Ghost just slows down, uses the utility just right. They are going to find themselves a 5th here, and Retro is again saving. I think this is the second time in a row we've seen him have to save. He's struggling to find impact early. And honestly, I wouldn't hate to see him take things a bit riskier. Because right now, the Renegades are in a tough spot. They're down 2 rounds on their defensive side. I feel like it's not a bad shout to just have Retro fight down mid. Let him off his leash. Let him just make the confidence play. If he dies, he dies. That's unlucky. But if he can find that opener, if he can shut down Ghost, that's huge. Because they're playing things so slowly right now. He has plenty of opportunities to kind of pick these players off one by one.
Nice fault line from downtown there inside of ropes. Doesn't net very much, but again, you have the question. Do you buy around the operator? Does look like they do. And here's Randy Savage. You have to play the close angle. He tries to back away. Oh, no, I think it was... Yeah, there was a gravity well on top of him inside of that, and then another gravity well to follow. So there was just no escape. I thought it was because he was playing a close corner, but... just beautifully played there. Utility huge between Nismo and Ryan, who were the dynamic duo earlier in the day. So getting right back to it. Now Renegades will have some better weapons around for some of these players, around the operator, that is. But the ultimates don't bode very well outside of Winsome Showstopper.
Yeah, Toolkit committed for the deep mid control, but the flash so good. Randy can't see a damn thing. He's shut down by Nismo. That's a completely free opener now for Ghost.
There.
And, you know, that'll hurt the confidence a little bit, right? When you're peeking to try and take some of these fights and you're just losing them. Just like that, Roy. Gonna go wide on that one. Dazzle comes out on top. Phantom v Vandal, and the Vandal gonna swing it and win. Qualanu playing close. Oh my goodness. The recall of the bot was almost the demise of the Killjoy, but is able to sneak away. And now they have all the knowledge they need. They know exactly where that operator is and where they need not to be. Winsome toss out the Showstopper. Not gonna find anything but a bit of damage. And it's still 5 players remaining for Ghost.
Nice spot from Jerk. Escapes into the Nebula off a freebie. He knows the spike is committed here. This is a call for rotations. Wins him down below. Good for his first. Back away now with the blast pack. He gets a double, but it's traded through. Jerk still in main, can make himself an impact player, but the plant's coming down. He can do nothing to stop it as he has to await Retro towards heaven. Up on top of the Sage, well, the shot could have hit, but misses, goes wide. Jerk shut down. It's Chase for a triple, and it's Ghost to secure 6.
I mean, what can you even do? Chase is so good, making this Sage look like a duelist, finding so many frags. And again, right there, it looked like Randy Savage was actually turning away from the guiding light, but it just never popped, or it popped too late. And it was just enough time for the frag to come on through. And then again, the fight to follow, it was Roy looking to go 1v1 against Dazzle. Dazzle comes out on top. Now we're 6-3. And we're getting a Renegades tactical timeout. A pretty good time to do it, obviously, as you got 3 more rounds in the half, and you have to try and figure something out. Now, you can chalk a couple of rounds up to, you know, just that's unlucky, really, right? But you do have to give a lot of credit to Ghost Gaming for being able to squeak out some of these insane plays with their utility.
Yeah, it's crazy, some of these rounds that they have been winning. Retro, again, not able to get anything done with the operator. Like, he keeps playing in towards A, and he's just not been tested. It's not even like he's whiffing shots. He whiffed one there, but he's just never gotten the chance to use it in any impactful way. And that feels like kind of the overarching story for the Renegades. They have the right idea. They have the right positioning, but the Ghost is just always one round ahead. One thought ahead. And they're consistently winning as a result. It's been 5 rounds in a row now in the favor of Ghost. If they keep this streak of momentum, I mean, they could win the map off of it. Renegades really do or die now. They had a second to talk with their coach. They had a second to strat this out. And now the adaptation seems to be Retro go kill. Push him down mid with the rifle. See what he can get done.
And it's not the operator, so you can allow the Jet to get a bit more ground. You're not just taking that long range fight from ropes to market, but still not too much taken away. You are buying some time. You are buying some space. And I love that they're tossing out the poison cloud there. Retro looking to push through it here. I don't know if they're expecting this at all. Flashpoint in hand, but completely caught out as Retro. Sandwich between Market and Sewers as Ryan finds another kill. Renegades, they make some adaptations, but they still don't swing. The round still doesn't swing in their favor just yet. Down a player, and you still have a lockdown, a Cosmic Divide, and a Showstopper to worry about. And if Roy wants to get some information, he does have the Seekers available. But I think he's got all the information he needs. Some way, somehow, he knows that they're coming back towards this A site.
If you're ready, misses the head. Nismo wins that?
Ow.
I don't know, man. Oh, that's a bit of a Zelsis peak right there. Winston does trade that out. Now it's a gun. Now it's a chance. And Winston trying to make the play forward. Should get a second. No, he whiffs the shots onto the Boom Buddy. 3v2 in the retake. But as the wall goes up, damage is dealt onto Nismo.
3 HP as a Cosmic Divide going to be traded. And it kind of splits up the team. An awkward situation. They're all played on the opposite side of the defending Cosmic Divide on the site, but there's really no way in. It's going up top is Winsome. Nismo gonna sit him down around the corner with the Judge, and you just had to hope and pray to find something there. Unfortunately, Renegades can't get it done. 7-3 the scoreline. I don't think Ghost Gaming is letting up anytime soon.
Doesn't look like it. These guys are really turning up right now, really pushing themselves into such a power position, because we're on the cusp right now of what could be a 9-3 half if Ghost can win this round, because this is kind of the last call in way of money for Renegades. They lose here, they're going to be completely bankrupted. And Ghost, again, one step ahead. They've chilled out with the mid control. Now Spike's leaning its way maybe towards B. They always have a new idea. They always have a new plan. And Renegades just can't seem to contend with this. The mid aggression last round maybe was the right call, but it just gets shut down immediately. They're trying to bait them into this one way, and it does work for at least a singular frag, but Randy's stuck in the nade. He dies for it.
And no grab well needed this time around. It's just the paint shells that find the kill. Nismo just has Randy Savage's number with that bit of utility. And as we creep closer and closer to the half, I'm getting worried for Renegades. Obviously, they're already down, but the Viper on defense is where you're going to get a whole lot of value when it comes to that decay, when it comes to buying space and buying time. On the attacking side, you can't force people through your utility all the time. So I'm interested to see how Randy Savage steps up in the next half, because defense, unfortunately, didn't swing his way, at least not in this round, being the first one to fall down. Roy gonna get spotted out towards mid, and now things are even. A 3v3 and a lockdown gonna be used just to get some mid control. Koala Noob tries to push on through, but the Tracers are spotted by Winsome. He will take him down, and the two remaining, the back end of that lockdown falling, will be pushing up towards mid through the Nebula smoke. The paint shell's queued up. The Showstopper still online. There's the gravity well. They're able to find one. Chase is still alive, still dangerous, but Jerk will silence the Sage this time around. 7-4 as Renegades try and grab the best they can get.
Winsome really stepping up in a big way that round. His utility has been good thus far. He's able to find this pick early on, another bit later into the round. Good impact from the man on the raise, and this is more what we expect from Winsome. I feel like he was having a couple troublesome games early on, but he's really stepping up now, feeling confident, feeling comfortable. And off that round, Renegades could be set up for even a 5-7 here. Things were looking grim, and now they've really opened the door to have a much better chance into this game.
Five players stacked up here for Ghost Gaming as they look to take the A side. They're going to be running right into Roy, and we got Retro playing in that discipline box. They have assumed control of ramp, so things get a bit spooky for Randy Savage, who is playing up top. Nobody pushing on just yet. The snake bites by a bit of time. And again, that toxic screen is still available, so Randy Savage could look to use that any way he pleases. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. It's not going to find the Viper here, and Randy only good for one. Is going to be traded back. Here comes the Showstopper, looking to find their way onto the side as the Resurrection comes through. Dazzle, no, Nismo still finds a kill. He shoots it blind, and he picks one up. Winsome trying to battle back, but Renegades down to their last two, make it their last one as Jerk stuck behind the wall. His position given away. He'll be chased out by an aftershock, and he has to try and find a way to win a 1v3. The heal onto Dazzle, the flashpoint to buy some time, the spike planted, and Jerk, a very tall task ahead.
Only one star, it's committed. He's dead to rights. Dazzle to clean that one up. Ghost pulling ahead here with an 8-4 half, Tanner. That is more than, I mean, I could have expected from an attacking side here on Split. We know Renegades, they're not too bad at attacking themselves, but this is going to take a big feat if they want to come back into this. And, I mean, while we have a second on this break, do you want to hear something crazy?
Yes, always.
Yeah, the other semifinal matchup, so it's Sonic's Virtuoso. Most people are going to be, okay, that's the Sonic's 2-0. Virtuoso has never been able to really take a map off the Sonics. Well, they just 13-4'd the Sonics on Breeze, so that's exciting. We'll have to see if we can maybe get an upset there. But recentering things onto this matchup, Pistol Round on standby. This is going to be very impactful for RNG to win.
Yeah, Pistol Round, and we've seen Ghost. They like to do some funky stuff here. This time it's not a play out towards mid. Jerk spots out, play towards B main. Is it able to escape as well? One flashpoint still in reserve. It will go through, and they're just going to continue the aggression. They force him out into mid, but there's no pinch. That was all three players on the B site, so a free march up towards mid nets the B site. Nismo finds Jerk this time around with the paint shell, so Randy Savage getting a bit of taking a bite out of Nismo this time around. A bit of revenge for his teammate, and for Nismo always killing him with the paint shells. Dazzle's there to trade it back. Winsome going aggressive, and I mean, they're just taking the fight right to him. Again, they take the site for free. Now they're trying to force him away. Ghosts do still have the player advantage, and I would imagine the utility behind it. But Roy and Retro are squared. Renegades are cubed. They got to do something big here. This Pistol Round is too important.
Standing.
Ooh, Chase wins that one out. Roy now alone needs to get the stun, and he's isolated too. He has a bird to work with. Dazzle starting to hold down. Hawk goes forward, blind comes out. Dazzle's still on it, but he hops off in time. Spam going through. Dazzle needs this now, but Roy swings. Roy has the clutch. 3 in the round to pull Renegades at 5th.
And that is, you're in a 1v3 situation, stuck inside B main, and the spike is planted in the weirdest spot possible. That is not a round you would expect anybody to win. So huge for Roy. The heroics in that one to net that pistol, quite possibly the most important round of the game, because it allows Renegades to get back into it. Now the anti-eco, I do believe they still got to be a little careful. Ghost have been nutty on these anti-eco rounds. You saw that one frenzy bought up. That could be a problem as 4 players stacked towards that A site.
Winsom's so worried about the push up there, committing the Boom Buddy to refight out B main, because they know how much Ghosts love getting in your face. And notice how they're not doing it this round. They've conditioned the Renegades already, just off of 1 round, to be afraid of that. The Renegades need to now play things very slowly. They always need to be wary of a walk-up, but they could be walking right into the beehive here, right into a trap. It's 4 players from Ghost Gaming stacked in towards A.
Yeah, this is the best you could hope for when you're stuck on pistols, you stack a sight, and you just try and get the best you can. The discipline box, good for 1. Nismo gets traded out, but Koala with the classic finds a kill onto Randy Savage with the Viper utility taken off the board as Koala finds another. Now Winsome trying to find his way in. The wall gonna stunt things for a second. The spike down on the ground, and somehow, some way, we're in a 2v2, making a 1v2 as Dazzle hops down, but cannot find the Batman kill. Jerk for 3. Saving what could have been an anti-eco win for Ghost.
I mean, Ghost is going to take that. They get 3 kills, shut down the Renegades' economy, force them to reinvest into that one. That's huge. Well called from Ghost as well. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Do you know who's calling for Ghost these days after some of the roster changes?
Megatron.
Well, whomever it is, they've been doing a great job in the mid-rounding here, and they've been doing a good job in calling into this stack. Doesn't quite work out, and the Renegades have to be thankful for that, because they've gotten this gap down to 2.
This is where things get spooky. It is that bonus round for Renegades, so a losable one for them in terms of the arsenal. And when you win those first few rounds, it always feels nice to get those kills in the hands of, 1 or 2 individuals, so you have those ults online to kind of swing this bonus round. But there is none of that. Nobody has their ults online, so it is going to come down to these gunfights. Retro, nice and aggressive with the judge. It's the best way to play. You have to get up in the faces, and is able to do just that. Maybe spots the toes. No. Dazzle still unspotted. Flashpoint queued up. They send it out. Retro finds the kill. The weapon upgrade, and now chasing a bad spot. Stuck between a rock and a hard place as Randy Savage picks one up with the Sheriff. And Renegades looking to grab themselves a nice little bonus round win. The spike to be planted in a 1-player advantage. But Randy Savage, worse for wear. You find that kill, and you got yourself a 3v3.
Very late lurk here through mid from Jerk. He could really be the crux in this if he can flank through heaven, especially since Ghosts are moving so slow.
Oh, the timing again. That's like the 4th time on the day, Mimi, that we've seen somebody look away at just the wrong time. Jerk only finds 1. Because this is the first rifle round, the economy just isn't there for Ghost Gaming. They're forced to give this one up. They're going to bunny hop their way over towards that B site. They're going to allow the spike to blow and allow Renegades to close the gap to 1.
Renegades, they were putting a ton of stock into that very forward fight there. It works out. They pick up 2 on the entry in towards A, and the post-plant setup just a bit too strong, especially with that lurk from Jerk. Not able to pull it off. This is just, like you mentioned, 1 round away from them tying it up. But has it been something where they can find consistency? Because right now, that's kind of the first time we've seen them win rifle to rifle. And I want to know, are they going to be able to kind of stay in control of this pacing? Or is it going to be like Ghost in map 1, where they're kind of sucking that breath away? They're getting that aggression back in there. They're shutting down the slow Renegades gameplay. I think that's what they need to do if they want to pull this off. And the Renegades, I mean, they just need to keep it up. They're on a good course right now. Don't get too overconfident. Don't get tilted in any way. Just keep on your nice steady course. Try and close out some more rounds.
And this round should sting a little bit if it swings the way of Renegades because of those hero rifles that they hung on to. I believe they semi-bot or they light bot around them. So this is typically round 4 of the half. You see a save coming through from the team that loses if you lose the bonus. Now a take on to B. Winsome finds the first. Ryan just not ready for it. Playing out towards Pillar. 3 quick kills open up the site completely. Now Nismo has a whole lot to worry about in front of him. 4 players on the side as his teammate brings up the rear. And Randy Savage still holding it down out towards mid. A couple of spike fakes there just to see if any utility would follow through. But Nismo's got nothing to work with here outside of his Vandal and his teammate in Chase.
I think they need a save again here. There's no, I mean, okay, Chase does just have this Judge. Try and get some damage done. I think there could be a rifle on the floor for him somewhere, but they at least want to keep one of these weapons. Nothing available for him. His best bet is to just die here with the Judge. Maybe try and bait someone forward. But regardless, it's not going to change the outcome of this round. It will be the Renegades to bring things into a nice little 8-8 stead. Gotta feel a little bad for Chase because he's getting bullied by so many people here. Push forward will come and eventually do put him down. Oh, Nismo could actually lose the gun here. He does. That's huge. Renegades, they have that one flawless. Now this economy is going to be just absolutely teeming because they won 4 in a row. And Ghost just got practically completely reset. They can try and maybe force some rifles into this, but that's all it is. It's a force. 3 players on light armor.
And Dazzle doesn't have anything. They could try and force him a stinger or something of the sort. I guess it looks like, okay, they are working their way into a Spectre into the hands here of the Breach, but a lot invested, and I would imagine the utility looks rough for this squad here. So 8-8, the score line. It has been an absolute bloodbath, and I mean, we said it coming into this one, right? This is the map. Both teams have their proficiencies on it. I don't think there's any better way to close out a series, a best of 3 series, than these 2 teams on split, duking it out here, 8-8. And I want to point out that Randy Savage almost did nothing in that round, was just a bystander. All 4 of his teammates made plays up towards that B site, and he was hovering around A, and he was hovering out towards mid. And then finally at the very end, he was like, okay, I want to be Renegade's Randy Savage, and he ended up finding Nismo. So that's just, again, just a rough moment for Nismo to be at the wrong place at the wrong time with Randy Savage just taking a nice little stroll on the opposite side of the map.
It's really a tough one for them. 4 rounds in a row now lost. TAC timeout does come to an end. What do they have in store for us this round? They have managed to invest Dazzle onto a bit of a weapon. Actually, a lot of players went off their ult. 3 players at that. So maybe they'll want to fight for some ult orb control here, get something up alongside that resurrection. But for the Renegades, this is a lot more committed than we've seen before. They fake out into this wall and they go quick into B.
Renegades looking to make it quick here, taking a page out of the Ghost book. Unfortunately, Ghost just does it a bit better, thriving in the chaos here created by this Renegade squad as the Rolling Thunder only gets value onto 1, but it's just enough for everybody to start falling. Jerk with the Cosmic Divide on the opposite side of the map. Looks to stay alive here in some way, somehow. Jerk finds 3. Roy finds another. And Chase, in a 1v2 situation, has the resurrection available and has won situations like this before. So here we go, a 2v2. Ryan back on the board. Not too sure if he's got stars available. Nebula Smoke goes through. There is the gravity well to try and stop the plant. It goes just a bit wide. Now Ghost working against the clock, both to drop down from that heaven position. They're trying to play hand in hand together. Jerk with 4 on the round, looking to make it 5. Technically still an ace. Nebula Smoke goes up. Nobody on the spike. Jerk playing this perfectly. 64 health. There it is. The ace, the clutch, and the Renegades lead.
That's just painful to watch. There should have been no way Ghost was able to lose that round, but Jerk just goes absolutely nuclear. 3 kills on the initial entry there, fighting back in off of that Rolling Thunder. He was never stunned by that. He goes big to protect his team, to spray away, and when it does come down to just that 1v1, he plays it perfectly. Dances around the pillar, does everything right, does everything, period, for the Renegades in that round.
Yeah.
And now I think is that 5 rounds in a row? This was an 8-4 half, Tanner. And now the Renegades are at advantage, but look at Nismo, that's a Judge. And it just got 2 frags, 2 free entries for Ghost. However, there was a response, and this stays a 3v4. It stays a winnable situation for RNG.
And that's, again, like you said, still winnable, right? They trade 2 for 1, and Dazzle is going to get healed up there, but a bit worse for wear is that Breach. And Viper's Pit is on the line, so should they take this site, they should be able to lock it down. I wonder if Randy Savage is going to use it on the site or use it to try and block something off. And there we go. The Viper's Pit online. The split here, the flank from Dazzle, going to get sniffed out by Jerk. And that's going to make things even. This is a very rough round for Ghost in terms of economy. So anything they can find feels pretty darn good. Just like a kill like that. Ryan to Jerk. Now the last two remaining. Do they take the fight right to him? Chase pushes in, finds a kill onto Roy. Now Randy Savage gets taken down outside the Viper's Pit. Chase, you madman.
Chase just turned on his monitor, I guess, man. Just went absolutely insane with that Sheriff. But we got to harken back to the beginning of the round because that double off the Judge, aggressive towards A main, set everything in the right direction. Because not only did it find 2 kills, but it heavily wounded another member of the Renegades. It is what forced them to not only invest 2 ults into that round, but also lose it. If Ghost was going to win a round, that's exactly how they needed to do it. Pulling out utility, pulling out ults. And because it was also an eco, their money is now looking, well, pretty darn good to go forward here.
That is insane. Ghost just continue to impress with the craziness that they're able to do to somehow, some way win these rounds. And in a game like this, that's huge. You're tied up. It's going to come down to the 1 or 2 round that you won in a wonky style to close this out here on Split. There's no better way. Hats off again to Chase for doing so much. And it looked like he just had the read on Randy Savage because he tossed out that snake bite. Because he shot him with the Sheriff from elbow, just shooting into the Viper's Pit. So Randy Savage, again, just can't catch a break in this game. Getting spotted out, getting taken down. This time, the action slowed down quite a bit. Nobody jumping too far forward to the wrong side of the map. And by nobody, I mean Nismo is not getting too crazy here early in this one.
Lurk could be very big late round. You see the spike's not committed anywhere. Tucked in towards mid. They're looking for aggression out of Ghost Gaming, but nothing's really coming. They have a good setup here for the retake. They have that Cosmic Divide. They have the Breach flashes as well from Dazzle. They're going to feel very comfortable when it comes down to the retakes. And with only 30 seconds left, this has to be a final commitment, most likely towards B. And look at this, the Lurker could die. Timing so important. Ryan turns, though. They walk past each other. Elsewhere, the site take is forthcoming. Ryan, for one, wins him the trade. But Koala Noob gets it. Look at the time. 10 seconds. Koala could end this. Spike's on the floor. Nismo has 2. Koala's still in a great spot. Retro, for one, he needs to plant down instantaneously, but there's a grab well in his face. It's desperation over the top, but it's Ghost Gaming to 10.
Wow, and in that awkward timing across the map, Randy Savage actually died to Ryan, so the lurk or the flank just had 0 value. This is a huge ultimate to be able to find that kill because it does land in an awkward spot. And then, I mean, you see the Rays just answering right back in Nismo. He said, you know, I see Winsome getting something done. Now it's my turn. 2 quick kills. And that's just the Nismo way. Nismo has been, again, proficiency on the agent. But when you have this, kind of like Roy on Sky, right? You don't have to worry about how to play Rays. It's in your blood at this point. Just like that, finds one with the showstopper. So all you have to do is worry about where your crosshead is at and click heads. And that's what Nismo does so incredibly well. On in that first kill, nice and early with the showstopper, putting Renegades on their back foot once more.
This is going to waste so much time, too, because now Renegades, they have to fully refight main control. They're going to have to likely commit some Sky utility to do this. Doing it dry would only prove more and more risky to them. Chase even jiggling for information. He gets more than information. He gets a frag, and now Ghosts, they're up by 2. Even the Resurrection available if they need it. But towards Heaven, Randy has an opener.
Chase, low on HP, is going to be taken down. Randy Savage finds 3 on the round. He's done being pushed around by this Ghost Gaming squad. He finds a couple of kills for himself in the heal to come on through. Now Koala pushing out, finds it on to Winsome. Can't get away just yet. It's a 4K, but now a 1v1. It's Ryan, it's Roy. This could be the tie game. This could be 11-9 in favor of Ghost. They find the fight. Ryan finds the kill, and Ghost will do just that. They push to 11.
Huge play there from Ryan to shut everything down. He's so fast to juggle that Astra utility, goes straight into the astral form, plops down 2 stars, concusses Roy, forces him forward into the fight with the grab well, and Roy just didn't have a chance in the fight. Ryan bests him. It looked like such a good chance for RNG. Earlier on in that round, they found the entries. They found a huge play off of the 4K there, but unfortunately, it just was not quite enough. Ghost do them one better, and they're 2 away from winning this game. Renegades is forcing? They're buying into this one. This is do or die now for them.
Yeah, playing for the win, because if Ghost take this one, they will be on map point, and that economy is going to be hurting. And it's Retro once more with the operator, this time on the attacking side. Unfortunately, not going to find anything off the rip. The wall there just to be safe and try and stop a push through B main. Win some. Has since gained some ground up towards mid. Nebulous smoke. By a bit of time and try and stop this team from pushing on through. It allows Winsome to creep up into ropes, where Dazzle has been playing just about the entire game. So getting from mid to A, you're going to have to answer this breach. And if Randy Savage wants to lurk on up once more, he's going to have to answer to Ryan. And we've seen how that fight goes. No, Randy Savage finds the first. Ryan is able to trade it back. Things open up quite a bit. That spike, you can see the question mark pings coming on through. They're not quite sure where to send it just yet. The alarm bot grabs the information, and now maybe A is not the play.
Lots of info there, but no one's biting off of it. That's because they have the Astra pushed up towards that A main position. 2 players on the site, but they're on an island. Nismo needs to go big. They need to find this now. But the thing is, Renegades doesn't need to commit. They still have 30 seconds to make this call.
Guiding light for a bit of information as they drop onto the site. The spike is here. They look to cross, and Winsome will find a kill on his counterpart. And that spike will look to get planted. No stars to pull anybody off as Chase goes back to get that resurrection. In a 4v4 situation. No res for Renegades, unfortunately, to put that 5th member back on the board. The Cosmic Divide is going to buy some space, buy some time. And this is where you want that Cosmic Divide. Obviously, the pop flash through never feels good, which is exactly what Dazzle is doing here. Sends out another one. The shot from Retro. Able to find that, and this is the force round from Renegades. They needed to do anything they could to win this one, and they force Ghost Gaming back. They force them to save, and they will find themselves double digits.
I doubted the attack-sided op on split. I didn't have my full faith in it, but I liked what we saw out of it. Retro able to provide cover for his team on the quick execute. In the post plant, he holds down, finds an impactful frag, honestly saves his teammate towards hell there, allows the second frag to get picked up, allows Renegades to stay very comfortably in control of that one. And now this gap back down to 1, but Ghost Gaming, their money's not broken here. They still have plenty. They'll be able to buy this round. They'll be able to fight back through this round. They have that Cosmic Divide. Dazzle is 1 off of his ultimate. They could still very easily bring this to match point. But for the Renegades, I enjoy when we see them pick up the pace a little bit. Don't allow Ghost to make the play. Set your own tempo. Shut that down. That's what happened that last round. That's what found them success. But are they going to be able to replicate that success?
And the last time we saw this was on Bind, where Renegades were down, and they pieced together 2 rounds towards the end of the game. They end up losing 13-9. Now, right, they lose 3 in a row. They say, all right, guys, what do we have to do? Let's shake that off. Let's figure it out. They win the next round on a very hindered buy. Although having rifles and an operator, they still had light shields. They were probably lacking on some of the utility. Remember I said, Mimi, this is the best time to do it. You have 1 round to waste. So for Renegades to figure out this Ghost Gaming defense at 9-11, now making it 10-11, there is just no better time for it. Chase forced to back away off the back end of a slow orb. Winsome spots the back of the head, sees the ponytail, but doesn't take the shots. And now the Viper's Pit online. Renegades have secured this A site. Paint shells. No way, Randy Savage, you gotta be safe, buddy. Oh my goodness, no, he finds Jerk. The Viper's Pit is still alive, but Nismo does it again. Now Roy trying to answer back as Renegades are down a player. He finds a flash on to 2, spots out the second. A double kill for the Sky, and another for Retro. Renegades looking to tie things up. Both players from Ghost Gaming out towards A ramps, looking to make a play, and Retro says, let's do it right here, right now. He points to the ground. He wants to stand and bang, and Ghost Gaming forced away again. 11-11, the score line, and Retro goes on the hunt, drops the op, has the knives, looks for the kills, able to find 1. Walanoob sits him down, but we are all tied up, Mimi.
Retro just says, hold my up. I've got a bone to pick. He runs things straight on through, finds a frag. Koala alone manages to save the round, but I mean, these executes for the Renegades, when they just take things quickly, they've been winning them consistently. Speed, very much their friend. And now Ghost. I mean, for a second there, it was Renegades who we were talking about there. 1 round away from being reset, from losing it. Now that pressure is onto Ghost. This buy is suboptimal. They need to win at least this one to guarantee themselves at least overtime, but they need to find a way to shut down Renegade's speed. Maybe that's getting aggressive. Maybe that is pulling out these judges, but they don't have much time to learn. They have to figure that out right here, right now. And this is a change. Wall aggressive towards A. Randy maybe trying to make a play, lurking up past it, but it's Winsome in mid to find Dazzle.
And Dazzle going down makes things a whole lot more digestible. You no longer have to worry about that rolling thunder that I don't know if it was online before, but will be in the next round, but also those flashpoints that are just such a pain. And speaking of pain, Randy Savage has just been a nuisance over here towards A throughout the entire game. Up close and personal, Ryan with the judge was good for 2 on bind to close things out. Not going to be the same story in Ghost Gaming on their last 3 remaining. Renegades looking to push themselves to map point here. They've got 45 seconds to do so, and they've got an open B site. That's exactly where they're headed. 2 bringing up the rear, though, and Randy Savage about to get all the value in the world. Finds one, goes for the COD reload, though, and gets sat down. So punished for the reload with 14 rounds in the chamber. It doesn't matter. Winsome making sure he can close it out onto Nismo. Chase, we've seen Chase do it before, Mimi, but I don't know if this is it. 1,700 credits. A loss on the round should give enough to buy in the next, but it does look like Chase is opting into the save once more.
Unavoidable.
It's 1 on his way out the door. Renegades will have money next round regardless. That judge play was so punishing against Ghost Gaming. They try and push someone up towards A main, try and fight off, deny the lurk, but instead they just lose a man. The lurk instead comes through from their opponents. He shuts down the flank and shuts out the round. Ghost Gaming now, what's this money looking like? Not fantastic. They saved onto that rifle. They're able to buy one up for Koala as well, but everyone else, they're going to have to make those tough decisions. Do I go light armor? Do I buy into a Spectre, a Judge? What do we commit to here? I would actually really like to see Ghost get aggressive somewhere. They have a rolling thunder. They can try and make a play here. It's worked for them in the past. If they can get something done, maybe just an early opening, that could shut things down. That could fix this for them, but no, Nismo sprayed through the smoke. A heartbreaking loss for Ghost early on.
And Randy Savage just continues to make it hurt. All the punishment, again, that he received earlier, he started to find ways to punish the Ghost Gaming squad. He does get traded out at the end of the day as Dazzle backs away. Qualanoo gonna get spotted. Winsome with the paint shells. A couple of blast packs as well, and a showstopper could be the opening that they need to hop onto a side as Ryan maybe hears the footsteps on the opposite side. Is gonna swing on the back end of a gravity well and trades it 1 for 1. Vulnerable and chipped away at is Winsome. He will back away towards mid to link up with his teammate in Retro. And Roy has since gained a lot of ground up towards A heaven. Trailblazer for the information. Spots out Koala Noob. The ultimates available bode very well for Ghost Gaming. A rolling thunder and a lockdown to get him off the site and to cause some chaos. But Winsome still hanging on to that showstopper.
They're trying to hold on to Heaven Control here, but Ghost needs to find that information. Then they can commit some ults into fighting this. But actually, no, they've pulled back. 2 playing towards ramp, playing the late retake into Heaven, and Dazzle is alone, isolated. Needs to find this information. He will, as the KJ lockdown comes for the site.
Oh, and Retro picks up 2 kills to be able to stop the lockdown as Dazzle goes aggressive, finds 1. Needs to find the next 3 kills on the round for the 2 remaining. The spike is ticking down. The rolling thunder is available. The ult comes through. Dazzle looking to stick the spike, swinging around his Retro. He's able to find the kill, and Renegades have done it. They battle back, and they punch their ticket to grand finals.
The Renegades, they were on the back foot.